Hey everybody, welcome back to the Jodo Cast, your home for Star Wars gaming. I'm Joe. We got Kurt.
Hey.
And we got Leo.
You do?
And we got you, the listener. Give yourself a round of applause.
Fourth member.
Why did you sound so unexcited about our listeners?
I'm trying and failing at, really forcing a parasocial relationship here. We're gonna do a real quick what you've been playing. Kurt, what you been playing?
In the last few days, I've done a little more KOTOR 2. I just got off of Telos, so that's still real early in the game, but I have Bowdur and the Handmaiden now, so that's fun. I do recommend people listen to the A More Civilized Age podcast episodes about KOTOR 2, because they analyze it really good.
Are they paying you to plug their show on our show?
Oh yeah, the big bucks. But yeah, they have really good analysis. They listening to them talk about it is what makes me want to go and play some more and be like, oh yeah, there's some cool writing in there. Also some bad writing, but try to keep it quick. Been playing some Legion lately. We are almost done with a League, which is the first I've played in over a year. So that's been fun to get back into, doing just some Separatists for now, kind of dipping my toe in, but it's fun to get back into it, try some stuff out. And then I've done a little bit of Star Wars Unlimited. We had pre-release for Secrets of Power, so it's been fun to try out some of the new stuff from that set.
Leo, what you been playing?
Yeah. I just had the biggest disconnect between my brain and my mouth that I've ever experienced. It was just
it's all right. We're only on a podcast.
Yeah. Now I know how those dumb fucking deer feel when they just stand in the middle of the road and stare at you as you come barreling at them. What have I been playing? Yeah, I'm in the same Legion League as Kurt, so been fun getting back into that game again after taking at least a couple years of time off, really, from playing that game. And been enjoying playing Secrets of Power. Done a few drafts and stuff since pre-release. Haven't had a chance to sit down and really build any decks, so unfortunately. And I installed Empire at War on my computer, thinking about playing that again. We'll see.
We could play online. Wait, no. I think we've tried playing online before, but because you have it on Good Old Games and everyone else has it on Steam, we can't connect.
Yeah, well, maybe if you guys weren't shit, we could play together.
Kurt, you want to play Empire at War?
Seriously, just buy it on Good Old Games. It's not even that expensive.
Okay, I could say, well, seriously, just buy it on Steam. It's not even that expensive.
I probably do own it on Steam.
Okay, we've solved our problem.
I ain't playing it on Steam, though.
Because that one has 3 factions too, right? We could each play a different faction.
Yeah.
If you install the expansion, but whoever plays as the Zan Consortium just gets banned from the game, actually. So, because that faction sucks.
They're pretty lame. I never got through the expansion campaign because I found playing as them so uninteresting. But
not so much that it was uninteresting. They're just they're jackass cheaters. I don't know. Oh man, I've got a lot of aggression and
consortium rage.
Yeah.
All right, we're scrapping the topic. We're just gonna. Leo, you got 40 minutes. Tell us how you feel about Zon Consortium.
I think it's that I scrolled through news before we started recording, and that's got my blood boiling. Just
Zon Consortium is big in the news these days.
So
all those the Ewok trappers. I think that's a Zon Consortium unit.
Honestly, dealing with playing against Zon Consortium would probably be better for my blood pressure than actually reading the news and interacting with the world.
I've been playing Shatterpoint and Unlimited. I think that's about it since we last uh were here. I did recently assemble the wheel bike, Grievous's wheel bike for Legion, so I'm gonna try get that painted as fast as I can, and then try get a Legion game in. So maybe I'll get that on the table for Legion like sometime in the next 2 months.
Looks
um,
like a pretty crazy unit and a pretty crazy model.
yeah, I will say if you're getting it and you haven't assembled it yet, I did have some issues with the assembly. And my only advice is my issue is basically when it came time to put Grievous in the seat. He has multiple points of connection with the vehicle, which are his butt. I think there's two pegs in his butt. I might have clipped one off, so I only had one peg in his butt, which actually didn't. So he's got his butt
A stick up
pegs,
his butt.
yeah, and then his bottom of his legs to the feet. The feet are connected to the footrest already, and then his one
Mhm.
hand is on like a control thing. And I would have had a better time, I think, if I had connected the footrest, the hand control, and the seat to him, and then connected that whole apparatus to the vehicle, because the seats and the footrest things, they all just slot in with pegs. When I had to did those first, like it said, and then assembled the body and then stuck the body on, uh, because the legs were a little bit posable. I don't know if they were intended to or what. Like they didn't line up right, and I had to do a lot of like tugging on his feet to try and get everything to line up, and his legs snapped off, and I had to some stuff. Anyway, maybe I just did poorly. But speaking of Legion and Shatterpoint and other things, we're talking about Ministravaganza. Atomic Mass Games did their, I think these days it's once a year Ministravaganza, and then once a year it's the studio update at Adepticon, which is basically the same thing, just in person at Adepticon. So we got our semi-annual news dump from Atomic Mass Games, and we're just gonna get right into it with starting with Shatterpoint, because there's less for Shatterpoint than for Legion. And so they started by showing us the unit cards for things that they had announced at Adepticon. So we're not going to like nitty gritty analyze these super deep, but we'll touch on them.
Some
We got
highlights. Yeah.
Balin Skull and Shin Hati. Um, this here's a my brain got derailed because Shin Hati is called Shin Hati, Eager Apprentice, whereas Balin Skull is just Balin Skull. And now I'm like, is that common for like all the secondaries, or is that like because having like a subtitles, common, but like it's on her like card on the text heavy side. I don't know. I'd have to look.
I felt like, I don't know. It seemed like a lot of characters in
Hey,
any rank have
and
it.
Enoch is the same way. He's got a subtitle, and Elspeth doesn't. Morgan Elspeth.
Maybe it's just the
Like,
secondaries.
no, because in the core set, Ahsoka Tano, Jedi No More, Saw's Ventress, Sith Assassin.
Is that text on the ability side of the card?
Yeah. Cad Bane, Notorious Hunter.
Is
But
so
then
maybe
other
Morgan
primaries are
and
not. It
maybe
just
Morgan.
seems random.
Okay, they flip a coin and like, do we include their subtitle on the stat side or
Maybe
not?
it just has to do with how long the
Yeah,
text is.
Morgan is probably Morgan Elsbeth, last of her clan, first of her name, or whatever. It's just too much to. So Balin has the big thing that they were calling out with Balin. He's sort of similar to the Obi-Wan unit, where he can manipulate hunker tokens in a way that, um, basically your teammates don't lose their hunker tokens when they become engaged, which is what's made Obi-Wan such a crazy and powerful piece ever since he came out. So now Balin is going to have something similar where your team, you don't lose your hunker tokens when someone runs up to you. And like Obi-Wan, you can spend it to um, do things. In this case, it's offensive things, whereas Obi-Wan is defensive. Um, Shin,
She combos with Balin in a neat way because she can spend hunkers as if they were force for her abilities, which is really cool.
That is very cool.
And she's
Uh,
immune to pin and disarm or whatever it's called, which that seems really powerful too.
yeah, immune pin is huge. Immune disarm is kind of whatever, but I mean, never say no to some immunity. Yeah, so those are pretty cool. I'm excited for those. It's also might be the first pack we're gonna get in a while that it's just two characters. They don't have like a
Oh,
supporting unit, unless.
uh, no, I thought they came with the HK assassin droids.
Oh,
It's not
that's
in the.
right.
It's
That's right.
not
They
in
just
the
weren't in
image
this
on the
image.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, good memory. Okay, then we see the cards for Morgan, Enoch, and Night Troopers. Night Troopers are the ones that I was most excited about from Adepticon, and I'm still most excited about them because the minis are very, very cool, and their kind of main shtick as a unit is if you have other stormtroopers on the table, when those stormtroopers die, they make the night troopers stronger. So when an animated beyond death, when another allied stormtrooper becomes wounded, if you have a night sister primary within 5 of the night troopers, um, the night troopers remove one of its injured tokens. So essentially, as long as there's a night sister by all of its injured tokens. Okay, so as long as you have a night sister near your night troopers, those night troopers are never going to go away as long as regular stormtroopers are dying, and essentially, thematically, the normal stormtroopers are dying and filling the ranks of the dead, which sounds really cool thematically. I'm curious to see how it plays out gameplay wise, because maybe people will want to focus your night troopers before they bother on other guys. Um,
but hopefully you can take advantage of that strategically, right? I think the
yeah,
main thing is going to be the tricky timing of like getting your night troopers to get wounded and injured
they
before your other stormtroopers, so you can heal them back. So
they
it's like,
they they have another thing called undying loyalty, where um, is if they have an injured token, you can't put them in reserve, so it's kind of a downside. Um, but when your opponent wounds them, they don't get the momentum. They don't get like the I call it the murder cube. Um,
which is
but
nice because otherwise they could kind of farm the fact that you would keep healing them back, right? Which
right,
would feel bad.
but also you can like overextend them and just be really aggro with them by when they get wounded, you can immediately just ditch that wound token for a injured token, and then shuffle it back in, so they can immediately like refresh,
Yeah,
um, which
it's really
Zeb could do,
interesting.
but Zeb had a downside. Zeb basically skipped a life by doing that. These guys, I don't think that happens. They just immediately go from wounded to injured, whereas Zeb getting wounded would go. I'll go wounded to 2 injured or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's all good with them. And kind of like you were saying, if your opponent wants to try and avoid doing that, well, then that lets you use them really aggressively and kind of punish them, send these guys up onto points and be like, well, if you don't want to attack them, I'm going to go crazy with them, basically.
Yeah, and they go
It's
faster
really
when
good.
they're injured too. Dark innervation. I guess I've never heard that word before. Innervation. That sounds uh like a little kid, like tech bro. We're gonna
Uh,
bring the innovation.
It's
It's
sort of
used a lot in like
like,
D&D or Magic, like
yeah, I
Oh,
was
okay.
gonna say,
life stealing
That's why I didn't
type.
know it, because I'm not a nerd.
it's sort of like
Yeah.
energize.
Um, Enoch doesn't seem that interesting to me. Um,
It's kind of Empire Stormtrooper
yeah,
synergy stuff.
it's particularly with melee. I assume the night troopers will be much better in melee, or maybe they won't even have ranged attacks. I mean, they're holding guns. I can't remember if they shoot or not in the show, but
I
uh,
think they do a little. But yeah, that's a
Enoch
good point. We haven't seen the stance cards.
Enoch says basically when a stormtrooper is making a melee, the guy doing the punching and the guy being punched both get exposed, which, you know, I that seems like a good trade I'd be willing to make, because I don't care if my stormtroopers are exposed as much as I care about, exposing whoever they're hitting. Because whatever, they're stormtroopers, and if they die, they'll just join the undead. So I think these are pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, and Morgan has the same manipulating hand that Mother Talzin has, which is pretty great. Basically, she can just make the opponent move. Yeah, I'm excited for everything here except Enoch. Kind of whatever on him, but excited for more Night Sister stuff. Then they announced there is a new mission pack coming called Strategic Positions. This one, just a new array of the yellow dots, but there's going to be 4 points active at a time, which only one of the current missions have. However, I think there are going to be 2 priorities, so that could be interesting. It's just exciting to get more of these.
It looks like there's some interesting layouts on some of these too. They're not as grid shaped as some of them. They're kind of weird placements.
Yep.
So
the mode that was previously in beta called Galactic Legends is now fully launched. That is the 1v2 mode, where basically one player picks like a hero character, and then 2 people get a bunch of like little guys. Basically, I'm going to be Anakin, and then you guys get like these Mandalorians and Bo-Katan and like secondaries and supportings, and I get Anakin, and Anakin has like a stat card unique to this mode where I get to be the super powerful guy, and you guys have to try and stop me. And so I think that it's got Anakin, Ventress. I think Maul and Ahsoka are also available now, and then coming soon will be Luke and Vader for that mode.
According to your post on Blue Sky, Anakin, Ventress, Luke, and Vader are the ones that
I think
are available, with more coming.
Yeah,
maybe
but I
just
think
forgot the other.
I think Maul and Ahsoka are there, because there's like 4 now, and then Luke and Vader are coming soon. I haven't tried that mode yet. I want to, because it sounds fun, especially if you got 3 people show up to your Shatterpoint night and need something to play. Key Operations, the other mode that's got like kind of narrative based objectives, asymmetrical gameplay, that got more content as well. And then we get to the new stuff. Very exciting. Finally, which I think is a bit overdue for this game, we're getting some sequel content. This pack is called Alone with Friends. Well, it says Squad Pack Kit 1. I don't know why it's called that. Weird name.
Maybe it's because you can have like 2 different. Looks like you have 2 different options for how you assemble.
Oh, Kit 1. Like, okay, that's like an assembly thing. Yeah, because so this comes with Finn, who you can model with a blaster or the lightsaber. This is all very Force Awakens. Rey with her staff, and BB-8 is on her base, which is interesting. I wonder if he'll have like an ability on her card, because some characters are like that, where like Omega and Wrecker, you flip their stance card and one side is Omega and one side is Wrecker, whereas like Todo 360 is just a piece of set dressing. Like I'm curious if he'll sort of have some kind of gameplay influence on the card design, or if he's just decoration. Then we got Old Han and Chewie, who's, I guess he's older. I don't know if he's considered old yet. So these are just like unpainted 3D renders. They expect they'll probably be a little bit more hashed out by the next time we see them. But this is pretty exciting.
I think it's very exciting. I will say, at least in these renders we got to see, this is one of the first like tactical rocks that doesn't like just really bother me. On the Rey pose, I think they did a pretty good job of it. And I will say though, the Chewie artwork, he looks like he's got like just a huge like porn stash. It's
Yeah, he kind of does if you look at him. He's got a like his mustache is a different color.
It's really cool to see the options for Finn too, because I feel like it's pretty rare that we ever get big options like that in Shatterpoint. Most characters are like only one way to build them, right?
Yeah,
So
obviously there's a few
with like
that
helmet
have
or
multiple
not,
options,
it's been the
but
main thing.
yeah, and I don't. I feel like I'd give Finn the lightsaber because unless like if there's an option to give Rey the lightsaber, well then maybe I'm like, oh, I don't want both of them to have it. But
I feel like if you give him the gun, it then kind of looks like him and Han are just in the exact same pose.
yeah,
But
the lightsaber looks good.
It feels less samey when he's holding the lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. And the other sequel stuff they announced, there's no renders of the minis, just the character art, which is great. We've got Poe Dameron, Zori Bliss, and some Resistance troopers. So it's called We Are the Spark Squad Pack, and this is all like Rise of Skywalker based, which is interesting that we're going to start with this Force Awakens box and then a Rise of Skywalker box. Like this Poe Dameron is, disconnected from the characters thematically a bit. Um, but it is the Nathan Drake Poe. I think Zori is a cool like character design, so I'm excited to see her in miniature form. It is a surprising. It's not what I would have expected from like a second uh, box. Like, oh, if we need to include Poe somewhere, I guess I don't know what Zori isn't who I would expect, but
Yeah, because otherwise, what would they have done for a Poe pack if it were like
Nap.
Force Awakens?
Claude.
Nap Wexley, Claude, yeah.
It looks
but
cool,
I guess
though.
I would have
The art's
expected
really great.
like a Force Awakens Poe. Yeah. So those are coming, and
I want
then
to point one thing out too with these two packs. The SKU numbers on these are SWP 56 and SWP 58. So there's obviously a 57
Well,
between.
my
that
guess
something
is
else?
the 50.
they did mention during the stream that there is going to be a Kylo Ren pack, but they didn't have renders or art ready to show
Right,
yet. So
and
that could
Kylo will
be.
come with FN 2199. That presumably the secondary. That's the guy who was famous for maybe a year who goes traitor. Everybody loved that guy.
Yep.
I don't think they said the third character in the pack either.
They
No.
didn't.
Right? But I feel like it could be like Hux, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, because the other pack we do have renders and artwork for is Phasma primary, a flamethrower trooper who is presumably the secondary, and then just first order stormtroopers. So that means Kylo's not coming with first order stormtroopers. Maybe he'll have a Knight
A
of
snow
Ren.
hologram. That's
Yeah.
like gigantic.
So this now they do have Phasma has a couple different poses for her. Also, she can be holding her not E11 blaster.
F11D.
Yeah, there we go. Or her pike thing.
Both
that
of
she
those
has.
poses look really. I like because she's sort of like imposingly walking forward, but the like spear is cool because she's got a pistol in her offhand with that one as well.
Yeah.
I like that one. They're both cool though.
Yeah. But this one doesn't have kit in the name. And I was saying like, oh, maybe they called it kit because it's got, the two different poses for Finn.
I mean, maybe that's probably what they call it internally, and it just made it onto the slide. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe there's going to be a kit 1 and a kit 2 with different minis. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know.
If you look here in the picture, the flamethrower guy, because we're seeing him directly straight on, instead of holding a flamethrower, it looks like he's just kind of offering you like a scoop of ice cream because we can only see the sculpt
fireball.
of. We can't. Yeah, he's casting fireball with his hands because we can't actually see the weapon he's holding. I might have to get the Wasn't there some like a couple years ago some like ultra chrome paint that came out from, I don't know if it was Turbo Dork or something.
Yeah, yeah, I've got it.
That might be something I'm gonna have to pick up for Phasma. And then lastly, before they were done with Shatterpoint, we got the negotiations will be short, which unfortunately is not Meeber Gascon. It is, however, still pretty cool. We got Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Panaka, and Naboo Palace Guards. So presumably Qui-Gon the primary, Panaka and Obi-Wan are your options for secondaries, and the Naboo Royal Guard supporting units. The models look pretty sweet. Panaka's kind of just standing there, but I'm just really, this is exciting to have Qui-Gon in the game and to have a box that'll pair so nicely with the Padme box that came out so long ago already.
I always think it is an interesting contrast when you get like there you got that mini of Panaka where he's just sort of standing there, but then he probably has the most dynamic art of the four
There's a few
units.
characters like that where like the pose in the art and the pose in the model are very different, and I'm curious if like at one point they were aligned and then like the sculpt changed, or because sometimes they line up pretty closely, but
I love the art on these Naboo troopers too. And they've got the calicos. I forget what they're called in canon, but they look cool.
What, I don't see any cats.
Yeah, and the Qui-Gon sculpt looks cool. Great pose, like he's about to charge at Darth Maul or something.
It's like he's in the wind,
Looks cool.
standing in like a gust of wind. So that was everything for Shatterpoint. Not a lot, but exciting stuff, I think. So let's hop over to Legion. The Legion, they started with a trailer of basically a Blizzard Force army box and an Echo Base Defenders army box. And these are special editions. They're not starter sets. They don't come with the dice or rulers or other tools you need. It's just the units and the minis. But these are like sort of for those battle forces, and I think the kind of the catch here is they're like a limited print run, and they come with, so the Blizzard Force comes with an alternate sculpt of Vader, and Echo Base comes with an alternate sculpt of Leia. Obviously Leia's in her Hoth outfit. Vader just has a different pose. He doesn't ever change his clothes. Which they both look really.
His costumes barely. Are different across just all the movies.
Imagine if Vader had like a parka for Hoth. What do you guys think of these?
Cool, you know.
I'd have to. I don't know if we see the full contents other than like it comes with like the veterans and the snow troopers and the.
Yeah, they never do show exactly what the contents are.
I would imagine it's probably pretty similar to the previous Battle Force box contents. Obviously now with like new sculpts and hard plastic and stuff. I still have an Echo Base Defenders box unopened.
I mean, I love the new leader minis. I want them, and I wish I could get them without these boxes that I don't need. But they look nice.
Yeah, and also they're in like a little sealed pod that only unlocks itself once you finish assembling and painting the rest of the box.
No, these are pretty cool though. Like, I mean, I wanted to get some. I've already got more snow troopers that I actually need, but I still wanted to get at least some in hard plastic. But I think I'll definitely be picking.
Do the snow troopers have the upgrade that lets you double their unit size?
Yeah, you can do that with snow troopers too.
But you already have enough to like theoretically.
Well, okay, I can't.
See, you can use
field like 6 of those. So yeah, see, that's why I do need this.
Yeah. And you do too, Kurt.
But yeah, because I love Blizzard Force, and I
And Penta
probably
like Dairy
won't.
Queen.
I
Those are
probably
my
won't need
losers.
the other stuff that'll be in the box, which I imagine will be
Might be
probably
an
e-webs.
E-Web.
That I was gonna say, probably like an e-web and a speeder bike unit at
Well,
least.
the E-Web might, because if I remember right, the original E-Web has like a Scout Trooper on it. Is that right?
No,
Oh, I
no, it's
must be
got two
thinking of
snow
Imperial
troopers.
Assault. Imperial Assault has a Scout Trooper on the E-Web. So then we gotta look at the probe droid and box, which comes with two probe droids, and then another box I'm very excited about: Captain Solo and Commander Skywalker on Tauntauns. So they showed us a. These were announced back at Adepticon. Um, so something I think worth noting with the probe droid box is they're on flight stands. They're not brushing up against tactical rocks. We know
Thank
AMG's
you.
usually pretty averse to flight stands, so I was pleased to see that these ones they just went for it with the flight stands. Um, I think it. I don't think it would have worked very well to just have them like sort of like touching a rock, a really tall rock or something.
Yeah, I think the flight stand was a good idea. Uh, Without going into too much detail, I wonder, like, your perspective, Leo, on. I kind of want to buy them just because it's a cool mini, but do you think they're going to be useful stat wise in an Imperial army? They only have range one guns, and it's like a single 4 health mini, although we can't see the upgrade slot. I
Uh
would
huh.
assume you can't add a second mini to it, but maybe that's possible, even though it comes with two. It's also detachment special forces, so you have to have another special forces unit before you take one of these. So
But
it's
it's
like
got infiltrate and I mean,
observe three seems like the
Yeah.
main thing you would use, right? So
it's sort of like I mean, it
probably
reminds me
cheap.
of
We can't see the
Aiden's little
points, I guess.
droid or Maul's little droids. Like it's just like a giant thing that follows you around and goes, "There they are," and like helps you shoot them better. Because yeah, like
Yeah.
you said, it's gun is only melee and range one, so it's not going to be like helping you shoot. It's
Well,
just gonna it can spit out 3 observe tokens every
yeah.
turn.
And the observe token and the observe is a free action. So like you
Yeah,
can like
That's
hide
true.
them behind some terrain, and then when you activate him, you pop them out, you observe, and then pop back behind
yeah, and
cover.
then disengage. If anyone ever does run up and tries to like tackle it, it just slips out. So it might be hard to kill. And then if you really
You
need
can
to,
self destruct it, which is
you can
cool.
just fly it into them and be like, all right, you've done your job. I'm
I guess a
curious.
big thing will be the points cost, which we cannot see
Yeah.
yet. So
So those guys are fun. I assume they're about to scale because they're always actually way bigger than you think because you don't get a good sense of scale in the movies. But if you see like the props and things, they're pretty big boys.
they look almost as wide as the base. So
Yeah.
Hmm. What's interesting is it looks like you get two minis in there, but the card does say that it's only one mini for the unit. So
and with detachment, like would
Can you
you
keep
even
chaining
be able
them
to
infinitely?
I don't think
As
so.
long as
And
you
I
got
don't
the
think you can
points for it. Oh, oops, all probe droids. As long as you have the other requirements.
I don't think so, and I don't think you can do two off the same unit either. You know what I mean? So
Um,
I don't know.
yeah,
We'll
because I
more
think
look
like
into
that's how it was like with the mortars. Like if you wanted to take like three short trooper mortars, you had to have three standard short troopers.
right. Yeah.
all right, so now we got Luke and Han on Tauntauns. Um,
Tauntaun.
Leo, what's your take on Luke's tactical rock? They both have a tactical rock, or at least a tactical lump, and
Does
I think
the
they look fun.
no Han is like I thought it's like it
Hans is
just got
Oh,
the
fine.
Han's
leg
foot is.
lifted up in
Oh,
the air.
sorry, it's just the perspective.
Yeah. Um I don't know. That one doesn't bother me as much, that rock. It's fine.
All
It's
right, we got two rocks in one Ministravaganza that are fine. Look at us go. So they do. So Luke is, as his name Commander Skywalker implies, is he's a commander unit. Han is an operative. The art on those are so. I think it's just the shade of blue in the background. It feels very. I don't think it's Macquarie-y, but it's definitely like kind of
Hildebrandy.
yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of old school looking in that way, in a good way.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
not. It doesn't. It's unlike a lot of the new Legion art we've been getting, which all the new stuff is so good, and this is so good, but it feels a little different. I don't know. It stands out in a way that is very positive to me. Um, yeah, Luke's got a lot going on.
I mean,
Lightsaber and horn.
he's
Sorry,
obviously
what?
got like a big melee attack,
Wait, what is
but
a
he
horn?
The horns on the tauntaun.
Oh,
because
my
it's
brain went.
headbutting.
Okay,
Yeah.
he's got like the horn of like a dooga kind of thing, or
What is
it
interesting
should be
about Luke, though,
horns with an S. If it said horns, I would have got it right away. But horn singular is like, is he hitting people with the saddle horn? Does he got like a drinking horn?
because
Like
one of the horns is broken off, and you
he's
can
got
see
like
it
a Tanel Ka lightsaber hilt.
in the art and the mini, and probably if we watch the movie, one of the horns is snapped off. So
Oh,
it's a single horn.
oh wow,
You,
Kurt with the
the
tauntaun.
broken one is
Oh,
sensitive, so he doesn't want to hit him with that. But he's got
okay.
a huge melee attack.
You know what? You're
He
right. It
also
is
has,
the left horn is the peak is tipped off. I think.
yeah, I think that's probably canon too. If we go find a movie still, he also has spotter one and take cover one. So he's an interesting mix where he's like this big melee charging guy, but he can also stand back and hand out tokens. Like he's got his little binocs out in the art at least. So
Mm.
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting.
He's got relentless. He's got spur. So
Got
you
long
can,
shot. He can reach range 3 if he's got a name token.
yeah. I mean, but I mean, with relentless, that means he can double move and then still, and if he can double move into melee, he can then do a ram attack with his lightsaber and horn.
Well, with
And
spur,
lethal
spur
and
means he
pierce.
can hit. Spur is spur a free move or increase your speed by 1 move?
It's increase your speed by 1. So you take, or unless that's changed. I haven't played anything with spur in a while, but it used to be
Let's
like
check.
you take a suppression and then increase your speed by 1.
According to LegionQuickGuide.com, Spur says you get a suppression to increase its maximum speed by 1 for that move.
He also has red defense dice, which is good. He's a commander, so
He does not surge in defense, though.
yeah.
Han
He does not have deflect or block or anything, which is
Yep.
probably good for such a big.
Han has less going on, but it's definitely a little more aggressive. Arsenal 2 and charge, so he's running up there, wants to get you in melee, and then shooting at you while the tauntaun is stomping you.
Yeah, because his
tauntaun
blaster's melee to 2 and versatile, which is fun.
but his tauntaun has stampede, so it's using none of its horns, and it's got 2 working horns.
But it's not an overrun attack. It's still melee, even though it's called Stampede. So it's like an in-place Stampede where he just stomps on you.
Yeah.
He's got Uncanny Luck like Han normally has.
Those are the Uncanny Luck. That's the tauntaun this time, though.
Yeah, it's a very lucky tauntaun. It's got he's got independent aim and dodge, and this
it's
is
gonna
an
be
operative unit.
So I really, these are really exciting because I like Hoth and tauntauns and all that, and it's gonna be tough for me to decide: do I give the tauntauns, like, do you put the lightsaber in the tauntaun's hand? Do you put the blaster in the tauntaun's hand? Because that sounds great.
Yeah. It's worth noting, Luke is a commander where Han Solo is an operative, so
Am I skilled enough to just have Han waving a hand in the air and then put the gun in have the tauntaun like hand out?
who knows, maybe they'll have an alternate arm for him. Maybe they'll have that right in the box. Are you guys painting his jacket brown or blue?
Oh man, that is
Atomic Mass is clearly in camp brown.
Yeah, this is one of those. I assume you're familiar with this fluke of space time, Kurt, right?
Luke of space time.
Fluke. Basically,
it's like the blue and black or gold and white dress. Remember that?
I
Like,
mean,
This
like
I
comes
know
up
it's
a
true
lot.
of like most things in Star Wars, like the color of Lando's pants, the color of Luke's hair. You know, it's hard to tell, especially on Hoth because it's so bright,
Right.
right?
You'd think there'd be definitive, like, the jacket's in an archive somewhere and someone could tell, but I don't know if there's a actual answer to this, because if you look at every like licensed product, uh half the action figures are like a navy and half the action figures are brown.
uh,
I would probably lean towards brown.
yeah, I do remember when Kenner when they put out their action figure of that they did brown, but then I liked when they put out an alternate, um, or I guess I should say like the '90s Kenner figure. I don't remember what like the one from the '80s was, but then they did an alternate, or not alternate. They just did some new outfits for some episode 1 characters that they just kind of imagined. And they had one, it was like Padawan Obi-Wan, in essentially it was the exact same sort of like gear as Han, same jacket and stuff, but they did it blue that time instead of brown for Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these like kind of high end figures, and there's a sideshow with blue and a sideshow. Maybe it's not a sideshow. There's a different one in brown, and the brown looks more appropriate to my eye.
I
But
would have to do some research. It sure looks very brown in some shots, but yeah, it's just going to be a decision you have to make. What feels more right
You're
is
going to have to buy
most
2
important.
boxes and paint them up both ways.
that way you can
And
swap it when.
magnetize the torso.
Well, you can just swap them out when somebody goes, "Isn't it supposed to be brown?" Then you swap it, and vice versa.
But well, then you just be like, oh, look over there, and then quick while he's turned around.
You dumbass! It was brown the whole time.
um, yeah, another thing they did is they gave us a little look at Thrawn and his cards from the Imperial High Command box. That he's got some really cool stuff. He's got a lot of keywords, which seems appropriate for him, but kind of everything has a lot of keywords these days.
I like
He's
the.
got cunning, which makes sense. He's got strategize,
Do
which
we know
makes
what One
sense.
Step Ahead does? Is that new for him? I think that's new.
I did look it up, and I was all like, "Wow, that's really cool," but I've forgotten what it is already.
Is it in the rulebook?
Let me find it.
Oh yeah, it is. It's on the quick guide. If one or more allied characters have one step ahead of the keyword during the resolve command card effect step after revealing command, blah, 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 if the number of pips on the revealed command cards, okay, so if you have different pip counts, he gets to move.
And if they do match, then you get to have a unit move.
Oh, okay. So every time you reveal cards, somebody's moving.
Uh-huh. And then he's got strategize, which can give units. And he's got, I think he's got strategize 2, isn't it? Which so he can give up to 2 units, an aim and a dodge, which is pretty awesome.
His command cards are called Architects of Their Own Destruction. I want you to know failure, and then we must wait and watch with some cool art of him hanging out with Price, and I assume that's Callus. What does that even do?
So it's one of these ones that you have to
divulge,
and you don't play it as a command card. It gives people reinforcements. It
and then anytime you can discard it to essentially get a free standby, essentially on one of your other units.
How do you feel about the sculpt? There's something with his head that's not working for me. I think it's because he doesn't have the big forehead.
I do wish he had the like slightly more pronounced forehead. It's bumps,
kind of there in the artwork and some of the cards, but it's definitely absent in the minis. Kind of a
might be how it's painted. He looks kind of like a baby face. It's young Thrawn.
Yeah,
the way it's painted.
Then from the same box, the High Command, Imperial High Command, we got a look at Tarkin, and this is interesting.
But yeah, he gets pulling the strings trooper. Imperial troopers specifically, and Entourage Darth Vader, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, and other than that, that's it. Uh, even his weapons, he just has one melee that rolls one white die, which is like C3PO level, uh, called
Yeah, no
Contempt.
ranged
He doesn't
attack,
even
which is
like,
interesting.
he just kind of scoffs at you, I guess, which is cool thematically. Like, he's just there. If you run up to him, you're probably going to kill him,
Yeah.
and he's not going to put up much of a fight,
Well,
but
6 health though.
yeah,
Isn't
and
bad.
then he's also got so they only show that 1 pip and a 3 pip card. So, but he's got to have a 2 pip, right?
I like
Maybe.
I want more context for the fear will keep them in line card, because the art, he's standing in a room full of Death Star gunners, and he's got one of them like by the collar, whose helmet's off, and he's, like admonishing this guy like he's about to execute him in front of his buddies. And like, I'm curious, is that a scene that they just thought would be cool? Is that from some kind of source material that I'm not familiar with? I don't. It's just a really cool piece of art that I'm like, when was he? You know, like, fear will keep them in line. Sort of, is about the citizens of the galaxy, not his own people.
It kind of looks like he's putting on a self-defense course. You know what I mean? Like
Ah.
he's like instructing them. This is what
Yeah,
do if
yeah.
someone
Except this
grabs you.
guy's clearly all beat up. Like his face looks dirty,
Well,
and
yes,
like
that's because he was
he's
like,
clutching his stomach, like he just got punched in the stomach. Like,
yeah, he came at Tarkin, and Tarkin, hit him with his. Tarkin's
The
ripped,
contempt.
sort of. If
Yeah.
you
yeah,
There is a picture of Tarkin without a shirt from a comic, and he's yoked. However, that is also from a dream sequence. So, maybe
yeah,
I forget who was dreaming, but maybe they were just like, oh man, what if Tarkin was
yeah.
jacked?
But this card does seem pretty. This one that we can see, this fear will keep him in line, does seem pretty wild, and just the fact that um, you divulge it during setup, and then um, whenever any Imperial unit for the rest of the game is issued an order, it gains Demoralize 1. And then when you play this card, you give all of your units, Imperial units, Demoralize 1, which would mean, and then any that you actually issued orders to would have Demoralize 2.
So they're all just like, Tarkin lets your team just be the best shit talkers. Every time they go, you guys got nothing, and they demoralize them. That's
If
what
they're
the
close enough
contempt.
to
He
the
gives them
enemy.
his
But yeah,
contempt ability. So after
it's
Tarkin, we got.
crazy.
So this, we're still in the realm of things that were announced at Adepticon, but now we see their cards, like the wheel bike expansion that comes with the two IG. Well, one's a. I think you have options. You can put an IG Magna Guard on the wheel bike, or a commando droid on the wheel bike. Maybe it's one of each, but I think if I remember right from Adepticon, like, you could have both be one or the other. Maybe, I don't know. It's fun
There
that they're
are
different.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's definitely at least multiple pose options for each of the droid types. Like you can see the minis on the box versus the minis in the image are two different poses for each droid type
Yeah,
too.
I love
So it
the
implies you could do both as
the
both.
commando droid, like, really hunched forward in his like zoom pose.
Yeah, going fast.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on with these. The minis are amazing, gameplay wise. Does have climbing vehicle, mobile. It's basically the same as Grievous, just with less going on. Then we've got to look at the Weequay units. So we got a Hondo card. This is for the Hondo, Onaka, and Weequay Pirates box.
And Hondo,
Um,
we've already seen.
yeah, Hondo came
Um,
out with a kind of a standalone thing if you pre-ordered the starter sets. The Weequays, Mercenary, Everybody, Charge, Independent, Self-Preservation, Swashbuckler. Do we know what that is yet? I don't think so, because
I
Hondo doesn't
don't
have
think
that.
so
We don't got Swashbuckler. I'm
I don't
curious
think
if
so.
that's some kind of I can't even begin to imagine what that could be. All of
Yeah.
the minis are very. I love the poses on all of those, and you can. you can see where some of the things are like kind of repeated. Like there's the guy with the pistol and the knife, um, but also like you can see the two on their knees. It's like the same base body, but what each of their hands are doing are pretty different. One of those might even have a
Yeah,
robot hand.
and you can kind of take a guess at heavy weapons here because we can see one has an electro staff. That's one of the peg leg minis. One of the crouching ones of the Camtano has some type of rifle. Where most of them are pistols. So, but I don't think we're seeing all the sculpts in this image either, though, because with the Hondo Mini that came as a standalone thing, it has half a weakway body in it, and that weakway body is holding binoculars up to its face. So
Ah.
that's not even in the image. That's probably the squad leader. But
Yeah. Or that's just another bonus for getting that special Hondo mini. You get the special binoculars that no one else can have.
They're giving us
yeah,
all
maybe.
these the with the probe droids and the weakway pirates. We're going back to Imperial Assault mini days.
Uh, I find it really interesting how much customization they're starting to give us for minis, because like for a while there, like or right before AMG took over, Fantasy Flight had really started to dial up the amount of customization they were starting to give us with minis, and it seemed like AMG kind of started to tune it back down. Like we had like Asajj and Ahsoka and some of them come out, and there was no alternate arm options or anything like that with those. But yeah, now again, they seem to be kind of swinging back the other way and giving us a lot more options again, which I appreciate.
Yeah, and like the next one, we got to look at the WLO5 speeder tank, the pirate tank that we saw announced at Adepticon, which does have uh, you can load it with weakways or pike or a black sun or the I believe they said that they just don't even know what species this guy is. We've seen him on the swoop bike expansion as well. It's kind of, you might think maybe it's a
Turban Conehead
Saurian, but
guy.
he's kind of wrapped up in conehead bandages. But the tank, 10 health, which is a lot.
Still less than the ATST.
Armor 5. Uh, Arsenal 2 with a couple
Weak point
guns on
rare.
it.
Weak
It's
point
transport.
2. Yeah, rear.
Yeah, this one, I think that mini looks really fun. I think it'll be really fun to paint.
Yeah, and like
But
this paint
cool.
job, the studio paint job on this is just phenomenal. Like,
Really great
it
weathering.
makes me sad that I know, like, I'm really happy with how like my Rebel speeder truck turned out, but I just know like if I get one of these tanks, it'll never look quite this good.
yeah, that metal looks really metally. The brown. Lots of
And
nice
it's
little
like
streaks and stuff.
it's huge too. It looks way longer than the base, which I assume is like an AA5 sized base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Well,
hinges,
the
hinges are
AF5
huge.
sticks off each end a bit too, so I mean it's probably comparable. Maybe it looks like it maybe is a little bit longer, but not a ton.
So then we got an announcement of a battle deck card pack
Wait, we
2.
should mention these
The Battle
raiders.
Force.
They're not just going to be mercenaries. They are going to also, these Weequay
Oh,
raiders
right.
are going to be their own battle force as
Yes,
well.
so a new battle force, which is cool. Yeah, that'll be
And they
fun
didn't-
to just have like a really
Yeah, and it'll be
a
cool to
different
have
mercenary
a
party option.
besides the Shadow Collective finally.
right. Yeah, because that's such a specific vibe, the Shadow Collective.
Yeah, they didn't really give us details, right? But we can guess, based on the crossed fiber axis faction, it probably includes the swoop bikes and the AA5 and maybe bounty hunters too. I don't know, but
Yeah.
that sounds exciting to me. More exciting than Shadow Collective.
Yeah, so uh, battle deck card pack 2. Just another pack of battle cards. So
Yeah,
new
missions and
missions. We
objectives.
see one called Outflank, which we see the setup and special rules. It's kind of like a capture the flag, but certain units are designated as vanguards, and they're like obligated to deploy on the short ends of the battlefield.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna
Um,
read all of the ins and outs of that,
yeah,
but new
because
missions, that's good.
they are, and those are available in their print to play stuff on their website right
Yeah,
now. So,
which is cool.
um, so yeah, so the pack is coming out sometime this summer, I think they said.
Yeah, that it's really cool that like, okay, hey, here's these new cards. They're gonna be you can buy them in the store eventually, but go ahead and play with them right now because especially like the battle cards. Of course, you're gonna want to start playing with them right now, and just giving full access to those is great. Um, in a, there's also faction specific advantage cards, so each faction has their own like advantage card. Um, that just kind of plays into the flavor of those factions. With really, I love the art on the Empire one with
Where
the
they're like up to their waists in the
yeah.
swamp. It's pretty cool, yeah.
Uh,
Um,
then
the other cool thing is we now have upgrades for um, so you can equip some like commander
Commander.
units
Yeah.
as like unit leaders in certain units.
yeah, that's really because this goes with their what they've been trying to do is get you more options to have like the named people on the board. And I think this is a really fun, clever way to do it, where it's like, okay, we'll just have um, looks like we got Captain Rex, Callus, Kraken, and Cassian. So now you can just have these as a unit leader. So obviously they're not going to be the same like heavy hitting unit as they are when they're a commander, but you still have that little guy on the board that you can go, oh look, it's Cassian. I like him. Um,
Some of them have pretty crazy abilities too. Like these will be pretty awesome squads,
Mhm.
especially Kraken and Cassian. If you take them in a double sized squad and power them up, the more guys in your squad die. They're going to
oh
be
yeah, yeah,
pretty insane.
yeah. They basically your dice get upgraded for each dead guy in your squad, each one you're missing. Um,
And upgrading is a new mechanic too, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's something that they've added in the rules now. Which
You're you're converting the color of the die, right?
yep. So when you upgrade, you go from white to black to red. And then obviously, like a red die can't be upgraded any further. And if you're downgrading dice, once you hit white, you can't downgrade your dice any further either. Which is how
Kind of a
cumbersome works
throwback.
now.
yeah, the new
Used to
cumbersome
be,
rule
yeah,
is
it used to be when
great.
you moved, then you couldn't shoot that turn. Whereas now, if you've moved in this turn, you just downgrade your dice.
Yeah, which is such
So
a
you can
great
still
way
attack.
to make that ability still be punishing you for moving, but not like being not fun. It's like, oh well, we moved, so our attack's going to be worse because we got to take time to set up. So there's two new battle forces coming: the 212th Attack Battalion, which are Cody and Obi-Wan's Orange Clone Troopers, and then one that's just called Stormtrooper Battalion. Uh, the artwork shows the guys on Endor,
Yeah.
but I think if I
Yeah,
remember right, the gist of that is just like, how about more stormtroopers?
yeah, basically because like you have to take at least 4 core units with this battle force. You can take up to 7. Um, but other than that, like nothing else is that different. Although you can have up to 3 commanders. You can have 1 to 3 commanders also with this battle force. But yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem that exciting to just be like, yeah, you could take like 1 extra stormtrooper or whatever.
Yeah, the
Um,
other battle forces seem a little bit more
but
interesting.
it is still, it's like, it's just like you can do Darth Vader and uh, Imperial Officer. Although that's weird that you can have up to 3 leaders, but Darth Vader and Imperial Officer are the only 2 commanders that you can have, actually. So,
Yeah, the um so next up they showed a picture of Windu being reflected in Jango's helmet. There's no future mention of Jango. However, I don't want to read too much into it, but Django is technically what we're looking at in this art
Yeah.
piece. Like, it seems likely that we might get a Django operative.
Or this is just
Big
artwork
command
for
card.
one of Mace Windu's
Yeah,
command
command cards.
cards, because they did show off a little bit of the Jedi Council pack.
Right. So
Which,
the like most or like every like unique character pack that we'll be getting in the future, there's going to be like about 4 characters in each one. We're no longer going to get like the single character pack, for better or worse. I think it's probably for better because I like it means you're going to get more people more frequently. So this got Kiadi Mundi, Windu, Plo Koon, and Shak Ti, and all of these sculpts look pretty sweet.
I
A lot of
mean,
tactical droids in this one.
one of these sculpts looks pretty sweet.
Okay, hold on,
Three of the sculpts.
Kurt. Let's guess which sculpt Leo likes. My vote is for Shak Ti.
It's the only one that doesn't have a tactical jumping off thing, so that seems the most likely.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah.
I will say.
She could have a tactical droid on the back that we can't see, so
Yeah.
maybe she's still.
Well, no, you can see both of her feet, and they are both on the ground. So
Windu,
thank you for showing restraint with Kia with Shakti there. Kiadi Mundi's just like stepping on a hunk of battle droid, and that's fine, I
cool
guess. But also,
so
Windu she should have just been stepping on the ground. Also,
Windu's leaping off a battle droid that is cut in half, like the top half is sliding away, so,
yeah.
which
And
obviously
his arm is clearly like flying into pieces as
right, with like little smoke trails. I don't like the smoke trail arm. It's a bit much.
Yeah.
It's hard to make smoke trails read as smoke trails in these minis. I learned that with the Geonosian minis that kind of have dust. But like if you were jumping off of that droid, you would just kind of stay in place because you're kicking the top backwards, right?
But also like he does that shit like a whole bunch in like the Gendy Clone Wars cartoon. Like go back and rewatch that episode where he like demolishes an entire army solo.
It's kind of like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon rules, where you can like jump off of water. You know what I mean?
Speaking of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, yeah, Plo Koon looks like he's getting ready to do like a Trinity. From the
honestly,
Matrix kind of kick.
I think it looks really cool.
I think it would look cool with a flight stand.
Yeah, 100%. This one needs a flight stand. To make it clear
that he's not like pushing off this B2 corpse, but he's just like doing a Matrix move. And then Shakti is
the
just
ninja
kind of
move
chill.
where you teleport behind someone to stab them. It looks like that's what he's going to do. But it's a really cool sculpt. Really cool.
Yeah, like the sculpt of Plo himself is cool. The fact that he's sort of like tiptoe balancing on a B2 droid's outstretched arm is really strange to me.
It almost looks like you could take. So one of the minis in the Rebel sleeper cell has a large, taller than most minis in Legion, like wall, and if you stuck him to the wall, so it almost looked like he leapt back, and
he's just Spider-Manning on the wall.
Right. I mean, that's honestly, what I think would look. I think it would read well because, like, oh, he's just doing this mid combat. He's stuck to the wall, jumping off or something.
What I love about this pack, as a pack, like it's just showing really great pose variety across all these minis. If you compare to most of the Jedi and like Luke and Vader that we have and stuff, they're all holding their lightsabers at different angles and they're like jumping or lunging or moving in different ways. So they all look really cool to me just from that aspect. They got really creative with it.
Like looking at Kiadi Mundi, like look at that artwork behind him where he's doing the like sort of like samurai pose. That would be so much cooler to have than I think, than
I think his is the weakest of the four, just because looking at his mini pose, it almost looks like an old man trying to poke you with his cane.
Looks like a lunge to me,
Yeah,
like a run forward.
I
But
mean, it does look like he's sort of like running at you. I don't mind his pose. Like honestly, like I said, I think for me, it's Plo's is my least favorite one of them.
I
Just
think
we'll
because,
see.
it
just
becomes the
because it
most
looks,
favorite if you swap out what he's connected.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Like I said, you stick him on a flight stand, and this suddenly becomes one of the coolest ones.
I do think him and Mace will be very easy to mod. You know, so if you want to just have them jumping off the ground or a rock or
Yeah,
Definitely,
near
definitely
flight stand.
Mace, because it looks like he's just connected on the one foot, and
yeah. I don't know. It does sort of look like his back foot that you can't really see might be. I bet it is touching some bit
eh.
of like that droid arm up there, but you
Might
wouldn't
have to do a
have
little
to.
cutting.
Anyway,
Yeah.
next
There
up,
could be alternate pose options too, so we'll have to see.
we got Jedi Bark Speeder Pack. So this comes with Anakin and Kenobi mounted on bark speeders. This also has options for you can make the rider a generic Jedi. Um, it's
I'm
like a generic guy, which is also fun for customization reasons.
I'm
When we
wishing
see
for
it,
flight stands again here because
yeah.
right now they're sort of like floating on
Well,
marshmallow clouds.
flight stands are included because if you look at the custom Jedi, who's just an Obi-Wan head swap, he has a flight stand, whereas Anakin and Obi-Wan in the renders or photos,
On a weird
um,
smoke trail kind of thing.
Yeah,
they're
okay,
hovering
that
on
is
like dust.
yeah. Okay, so
I think it's a ghost that's
then
like reaching in there.
that is actually okay. Then I think that's really cool that you give people the option. And you know what? And we saw flight stands up in the Pro Droids, so maybe we're gonna start seeing more of this where they'll give you the option in some of
I
these
I
flying
think
things.
Obi-Wan's smoke trail kind of like he's a soft serve ice cream machine. Anakin's, I think that additional little one because he's kicking out. He's almost doing like a power slide, and I think that other little shape that is making it's really selling the illusion to me of like the dust kicking out away from him. I don't for whatever reason I like Anakin's. I don't like Obi-Wan's,
I don't know.
but
Anakin's to me looks more like he's got a little rocket on the bottom and he's like blasting off. It doesn't look right to me.
I think for
Um,
both of them, the only trick will be at least in the image, they're both angled. So you probably can put a flight stand on them, but then the angle might look less natural.
I would
yeah,
imagine
you
if
can
They're
mod
both
that pretty
tilted.
I
easily
if
too.
if it's the same model that we see in the custom guy, he's perfectly level. So I would assume it's the join with the smoke thing. That's where it's angled on the smoke, not on the.
Yeah, I'm just saying like if you do that, if you didn't mod the flight stand and
It,
Obi-Wan's now flying straight, he's going to be like looking up or
Oh,
something. So it might be
sure,
weird.
his eye line.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
yeah,
really like the angled pose
yeah.
on Anakin. Like it makes it look really
maybe
cool.
it's a ball joint.
But yeah, I'd have to see if I could
Yeah.
like mod it. It would be tough to mod without making it flimsy. At least I'd be afraid of that. But but
Could
but yeah,
put it on a ball magnet so you can just spin him however you want, whenever you
Yeah,
want.
well, no, I mean, then you would have to change where you have the flight stand. Otherwise, it's gonna just go and tip forward.
Get a stronger magnet. So
But
then we've
anyways,
got
yeah, I was just gonna say, I think it's pretty cool that it gives you the option where you can make a generic commander with this box too. But is it? Did they say? I didn't quite get it. Are you going to be able to make all three, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and a generic guy? Or are
I
you going to
don't
have
know.
to?
I would doubt
I
it, but
doubt
I don't
it.
remember them saying for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they said.
So next up, we got Leaders of the Separatist Alliance packs. This is another like character pack. This one has 5 people in it. So we got Grievous, which is um, just like a redo from the starter set if you didn't buy the starter set, which a lot of people won't need to. Ventress, that sculpt looks the same Am I crazy? Is that the same sculpt from her current thing, or is that different?
It's very close. I think one of her arms is at a different angle.
Are
Maybe
her?
I'm
I think
wrong.
her lightsabers might be parallel on the original, whereas anyway,
That's what I was thinking.
her head looks like maybe it's a little different too. Then we got Savage, big boy, barely fits on his. He's actually overhanging his base by a lot. And we got Dooku, definitely a brand new sculpt for Dooku, and Admiral Trench, the surprise newcomer here.
I'll be really interested to see what kind of abilities they give him.
I'm just really excited about. Kurt's got his Ventress mini. Was I right?
To me, it looks like her right arm is at a different angle in the image. The one that I have, they're close to
Oh yeah,
parallel.
they are
In the
very
image, it's
similar
angled
though.
down, but yeah, they're very very close. Maybe I
The
glued my arm on at a different angle or something.
the Trench mini is I just really love that. The paint job's fun because it definitely gets like the furriness across, but he's got his like riding crop in one hand and like a little hologram in the other hand, and the rest of his hands are just all very dramatic. Um, I think I'm really excited for that mini.
So, rock tactical rating time. Savage, don't mind it.
Ooh.
It's which you'd think I would because it's like huge and hangs away off the base and stuff.
Stick way out.
But I actually like it. Although it seems like it will be kind of a pain to play with sometimes, just because he's going to overhang his base so
And
much
he's
that
going
he's
to be
going to
running
bump
into
into terrain
melee.
and shit.
Well,
Yeah,
he's often going to be in melee where you'll have in a huge unit like glom onto him in base contact,
yeah,
where that one side might be prohibitive of that.
yeah. But just pure aesthetics, I do like it. Grievous seems completely unnecessary. Like he's not even.
I think it's probably just to give more contact points with his
Right.
toes.
Because
Right.
without it, you'd have 4 very small points of contact to the base. With it,
Or
now
less
you've
since
got
he's
a whole bottom
Yeah,
of a rock to connect to the
yeah.
base.
I can see that. Still,
it
I'm
at
gonna.
least doesn't stand out
I
much, right? You know what I
I
mean?
am gonna
It's like
complain about it
it's
because
pretty subtle.
it's it's my right as an American to.
It stands out less than Mace Windu and
Yeah,
Plo Koon, right?
it
So
bothers me a lot less than like a lot of those other ones,
Definitely
but
one that
but
will almost.
I couldn't be too positive on I gave too many compliments to Savage's sculpt that I had to bring it back down some here.
Next up, this one was surprising to me. We've got Han and Chewie, basically mercenaries. So we got this cool art of them outside the cantina, and then a look at their minis. 2 new minis. This is, I mean, Chewbacca always is going to look pretty much the same. Han is
cool
a New
pose.
Hope Han. Would you say homeless?
Cool pose.
Oh, I heard homeless.
He's like
Yeah, definitely doing a cool Han pose.
like a gun kata.
The face is a little, I don't know, something. It's always hard to tell with these, but the face, something about it. He almost looks old there. Maybe it's the hair color, but basically the idea with these is this is going to be Han and Chewie before they gave a gosh darn about the Rebel Alliance. So they're going to be able to slot into who knows how many. They're going to be mercenary units rather than rebel units, which is cool because it just gives you a
I
lot more
imagine it for sure.
flexibility.
The rebels, I would think, will be able to take them,
I would think
and then I imagine you'd be able to take them like with the raiders and stuff, and
yeah.
in the. But yeah, I wonder what other ones because it doesn't seem like, given the fact that they have had troubles with the Empire at this point, they would maybe not work with the Empire. But even if they do, I guess I'd be fine with that.
It might be
Mhm.
like Daimyo Boba that's mercenary rebel only.
Yeah, but then
So
like you're not getting much like it's like, okay, I bought Han and Chewie. I've got all this mercenary
Well, but
flexible.
like I said,
That's
you'll
the same
still be
as
able to
Daimyo
take them in
Boba,
like
is what I'm saying.
the
Yeah.
Raiders and presumably Shadow Collective also.
Maybe.
All
I
right.
hope so. I don't think you can with Daimyo Boba, but I want to be able to take it in more places. So hopefully,
Next up, we got some soggy folk. We got Mud Troopers. We already knew these were coming. This art was already shown off. But we got our first look at the minis for the Mud Troopers.
The Mud Trooper Commander looks so cool. I love that.
He's got a little
that
tactical
sculpt.
rock. He got a little
Yeah,
rock.
well, you know what? That's getting covered up with mud.
we can also see the heavy weapon, which has some type of like Gatling, not a Z6.
Yeah,
It's
wouldn't
probably
say.
whatever that character who was cut from Solo had, because Beckett's crew had a heavy who died, and that's why they were like, all right, well, we gotta hire Chewbacca because we need a heavy, and he was in some deleted scenes. I don't even remember his name. He died in the mud, but that's basically a mini of that guy. Um, so though they said these guys are basically going to be, because like in the lore, the mud troopers are like even more expendable stormtroopers. These guys, they don't get the full kit. They just, hey, here's this, go have some mud, guy. So I'm curious to see how these are going to be basically
Yep.
useful as, crappier stormtroopers.
Yeah, and then this won't just be. Along with this, they're also getting their own battle force, also a Mimban Assault battle force.
Yeah, which will also include these other new guys who are the coolest Imperial units they've ever shown, in my opinion, because it's just stormtroopers with capes. It is the wet weather stormtroopers. Maybe they're
Now,
ponchos that they've all capified, but
yeah, they're like cloaks. They're cloaks, maybe,
they
because
do
they've
have.
got hoods.
I think this was also from Solo. You can see they've got that little extra reinforcement on their foreheads.
Uh huh.
I think that was something we saw only in Solo.
Yeah.
I forget, but there's I guess these are the guys who really don't want to bump their heads.
Yeah.
But just stormtroopers in cloaks, always cool.
I'm just really curious to see what their stats will be, like what keywords they will have to differentiate them from normal stormtroopers. Like
Yeah.
Stay
what
dry,
does the
moisture
cloak
wicking.
give them?
They'll probably have, maybe they'll have like unhindered.
Oh yeah.
Um.
We can see their
Hydrated.
heavy weapons. They have the DLT and the RT-97C or whatever. So
That commander's got a pretty cool pose too.
Yeah. Well, just in general, just having the capes is like, I sort of want to. These guys are going to be so fun to paint too,
Uh-huh.
just to like get them all dirty and grungy and stuff.
Yeah, I'm like I haven't wanted to paint a stormtrooper since Imperial Assault, and now I'm like, God, I want to paint those guys though.
But
Love a good cape.
it's
you
tough
as
because the
a
squads are bigger now.
yeah, but you as a rebel player, Joe, will still get an opportunity to paint some stormtrooper armor.
Oh,
Oh yes, because we are now getting guerrilla troopers for the rebel army, which are basically they're a bunch of guys with sort of scavenged armor and stuff. There's bits and pieces of like stormtrooper armor in there. You can see like some ISB armor on a guy, little bits of like some mud trooper armor. I don't know. They're just a really cool sort of mishmash design.
I'm gonna assume that these guys will also have the ball socket necks that all of the rebels have had so far in the new stuff. Just because I see that Mon Calamari head, and that looks like the same head sculpt that we've gotten on some. All the other heads
Yeah.
are very unique and very new, but the Mon
I like-
Calamari head.
I like this Duke Nukem looking dude
Yeah.
here.
He looks like BJ Blazkowicz. And there's like a few different heavy weapons in these sculpts too.
Yeah, it's like
DLT, RT-97C, and a rocket launcher.
What is the top middle is aiming right at us? That looks like it might just be the standard rifle.
Yeah, I think that's just their
Looks
their
like the squad
AA
leader.
whatever rifle. I'd like she's got a robot
Each
arm
rounded.
too, which is cool.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
These look like they're going to be a lot of fun to paint. To like even just like what little we see
Yeah.
of the
And
artwork
and
is
I'm assuming there's
cool.
going to be enough stuff that you'll be able to do a fair amount of customization bits with all of these guys,
Right.
which I
Especially
think is
you know,
going to be a lot of fun.
if you bought two and you're going to be able to make sure they look extremely different from each other.
Well, the
And
one
then
guy's jacked too. Some of these guys have sleeveless armor, and
ooh,
they're jacked. But yeah, I think you're right on the swappable heads because if you look, the Mon Calamari pose is the same as the bottom right pose, just with a different head.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they've all got all the minis kind of have this like popped collar thing on them, so I meant to like help facilitate different heads probably.
yeah,
So then, lastly, before they signed off, they left with just an image of the Lothal mural from Star Wars Rebels of the Spectre family. Pretty famous at this point, I think, but it's the one that Sabine paints. We see it at the end of Rebels. We see it in the Ahsoka show. So either this means this is a new terrain piece coming that is just
Just the
some
wall
flat,
you stick
you can
out somewhere.
paint your own mural on it. It's not even like there's no like sculpting engraving on there. It's just a blank
just
piece
flat.
of stone. Or we're gonna finally friggin' get the rest of the Spectre characters in Legion. We've had Sabine since like year 2 of the game, maybe year 1 even. I forget. Sabine came out real early. Other than that, as far as Rebels representation in this game, it's been Callus, the Inquisitors. I guess Ahsoka is the Rebels version.
Thrawn, kind of.
Uh, a couple upgrades like Ryder Azadi, but we've been waiting for. At least I've been waiting. I want a Hera commander.
Yeah,
Give me a Hera commander with a chopper counterpart or whatever. So
Kanan and Ezra would be really cool to get.
Yeah,
maybe
and
we'll
with
get something crazy like Loth Wolves or Loth Cats. Probably not, but it could be cool.
Yeah,
I imagine there better just be like a pile of Loth cats that you can have as like just decoration on the base.
They've already got Legion scale Lothcat in the Rebel sleeper cell. One of them comes with that on their base. So
there needs to be more.
I want a Lothcat squad, kind of like with Ewok stats. Like you have like a big
I want tactical Loth cats I can have all my specters leaping off of.
Yeah, they'd be
Even Chopper.
inconspicuous. Give us a mounted Ezra on a wolf.
That would be sick.
But I wonder if they'll redo. I mean, I'm sure Sabine will be getting like a new sculpt. We've already seen her new sculpt. I feel like that was at Adepticon.
You sure?
Am I crazy? I feel like that's a thing. Maybe I'm insane. I feel like she's like holding the Darksaber like huzzah, but maybe I dreamt that. But yeah, I'm curious if she's gonna get like a new separate unit or something. But I'm just obviously really excited for these, and now with the way they're adding those kind of upgrade options to incorporate unique characters into just like regular units, it's going to be a lot easier to get them all on the board at the same time, which previously when thinking about this, it's like, well, you got 2 commanders, 2 operatives, where does that leave you? You can't fit all of the characters on the table, and now you probably can. So that's exciting. 2027 is when that comes out, which is Rebels came out in 2014. I think it ended in 2019. Anyway, that was Ministravaganza.
Oh, they did have her shown off at Adepticon. Aha. She's like actually flying up in the air on a cloud of smoke from her jetpack.
Wow,
rolling coal.
Yep. So there we go. There's another one. I hope we get a flight stand for. But honestly, the jetpack ones bother me a little less than others, like because that's conceivably a thing that could actually happen.
Well, all right, everybody. Before we go, I want you to leave us a comment either on YouTube or on Blue Sky or Instagram or our Discord of what you're most hyped about. Uh, that's your homework, dear listener. Yes, you get homework on this show. But before we go, Kurt and Leo, tell me what your favorite announcement is. Like you get one of these products right now. It's on your doorstep. Which you open the door. Which one is it?
So can I say the thing I'm okay. I
Okay.
don't want it, but I'm most excited about them announcing the sequels stuff for Shatterpoint because it makes us getting the sequel stuff in Legion feel just that much more likely because that's where I really want that stuff. So I don't
Okay.
care about the actual stuff in Shatterpoint, but I am very excited about it.
Makes
It's kind of a
sense.
fraught question for me because, like, as cool as all these things are, cool art and cool sculpts, where I'm at with Legion lately, even though I've been playing it a little bit, is like I look at buying a new squad with like 8 to 15 guys and be like, I don't want to paint that many guys. So it's like hard for me to get excited about even the squads that look really cool.
How about the Separatist leader box then? This is
Well, it's mostly minis I already have, so I don't want to rebuy most of those. I think the coolest one is the Jedi Council, and I would be very tempted to buy it and paint those, even though Republic is the faction I've played the least. So, yeah, I think that's the coolest for me.
I think I'd probably have to pick the Qui-Gon box for Shatterpoint.
It's a good one. I really need us to get Phantom Menace, Darth Maul, and Shatterpoint though. Like it
Yeah.
feels like we need to have them face off. It's surprising that we don't, but maybe we'll hear about him soon.
Yeah, a lot of I'm just so excited about all this stuff. And every time I look at any of this stuff, I'm just like I need to spend a larger percentage of every one of my days painting things so I can hope to like sort of keep up.
And it's cool how much of it is. Like if you scroll through the thread, there are so many different Legion, including whole new ones that we only saw this time. Right? How many are
Mhm.
new things on the way? You know, when people have thought this game was dead in the past, there's like a lot coming for all
Honestly, these days
factions too.
it seems more alive than Shatterpoint. Like I'm not concerned about Shatterpoint at all, but the quantity of things, Legion is just cranking it out. All very exciting. I'm just looking forward to see where these two games go and how everybody receives this new stuff. And I just gotta get more painting done and more games in.
What about Marvel Crisis Protocol? What did they announce for
Oh
that?
yeah, they did have a whole thing. I
Onslaught. I saw
There
Onslaught.
was a
It looks
Nimrod.
cool, but whatever.
I saw Jubilee. I thought that might excite you.
I mean, that's cool, but also like I like I said, I like Marvel Crisis, Marvel
Marvel
Crisis.
prices.
Yes,
That's what we can call it when it
Marvel
gets more
Price is Right.
expensive. Every time they
Uh,
raise the price on it, more like Marvel prices crisis.
Crisis Protocol. I like it better than Shatterpoint, but I'm still like I barely am finding time to play Legion. I'm never gonna find time to play MCP, so and I hardly ever get time to paint stuff, so I'm not gonna buy the minis either just to paint for fun. I have bought some, and they've all with the exception of Colossus, have sat around unpainted.
Yeah, if I was just keeping an eye on it because I'm like, if they announce Jeff, I'll probably have to buy Jeff so Bethany can paint it because she loves Jeff. But that's Crisis Protocol. That's not what we talk
Yeah.
about here. It's a cool game, but if you sat through the whole thing like, oh, when are they going to get to Crisis Protocol? I don't
I
know what
don't
you're
think
doing.
anybody. I don't think anybody was waiting for that.
And there was no X-wing or Armada announcements. They didn't say these games are coming back from the dead. If you were waiting for that, unfortunately.
Well, actually, if you paid attention to Schick's
Yeah.
blinks, he did in Morse code.
All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this time. Like I said, tell us what you're excited about, what you're interested in. All the things. If you played a Star Wars game, tell us about it. I like that.